Warning. The podcast you're about to listen to is rated N, not for everybody, especially the people who just don't get it. Hey.
What is the indicator that you are truly in love with who you are? Is that you are allowing your life to be what you want it to be. Allowing, not forcing, allowing. That is all that is necessary. The moment that you recognize that you are worthy of the Garden of Eden, it will be there.
What is spirituality?
Rachel, I thought you'd never ask. Spirituality is the acknowledgement that you are a spirit in a human body living a human experience. There are different realms. There's the ancestral realm. There's the spirit realm. There's the cosmic heavens, right? We're all a part of a big, giant sphere of energy in different dimensions, different levels. Spirituality is acknowledging that we're all on the same playing field, but on this side of the realm, that is.
So, to my knowledge, like when you die, you go to which realm?
That's deep, bitch. So, when you transition, a few things happen. One, you reincarnate. Two, a part of your soul, once you transition, stays here as an ancestor and goes to the ancestor realm. But a bit of your soul goes back to the ether and reincarnates. That's what happens when you transition.
Can you talk more about that piece that gets reincarnated?
So, that piece that gets reincarnated. When you are born, you chose this life before you were born, actually. Your higher self chose this life, and a bit of your higher self broke off and manifested on earth as this unique expression of yourself. All of our soul isn't in this body, so our higher self... They won't be watching this like... They're gonna be like, what the fuck? Like, no, but your higher self...
They're gonna come after you.
They'll be like, what is she talking about? Your higher self, all of your soul cannot fit into your body. The rest of your soul stays in the cosmic heavens, and it's your higher self. And when you transition from this experience, a piece of you goes back up. That's when the judgment's made. That's when the karma weighs in. That's when it's like, okay, bitch, how did you behave down there? Because that's about to carry into this next motherfucker. And then the unique part of you that lived the life and experience, you transition, that consciousness, that energy transitions into the ancestor realm. And the other part of you goes back to your full self. Where's Wade? And now we got to be reincarnated into the next lifetime.
So, you know how people read tarot cards, they use the pendulum, they just channel spirits. How would that work, like, with the realms and everything? Like, you know what I'm trying to ask?
Yeah, you know what I'm trying to ask. So, basically, when you're doing tarot, pendulum, a Ouija board, these are all forms of divination. All divination is getting an answer outside of yourself. You're divining for the answer. You're using tarot as a divination tool to get, someone help and to figure out what's going on in their life. You're giving them insight through a tool that connects you to the divine. Because the word divine is in divination. Okay. So, yeah, basically you're connecting with different energies through those tools to get answers to the questions that you have.
Do you believe spirituality and religion are like distinct, or do they intersect? Like, what's your opinion?
I think spirituality and religion intersect all the time. I think spirituality is just a liberated religion. It's just a religion or a movement of freedom and doing things that feel right for you. Finding different things that resonate with you that may not be the Bible or the Quran. You know what I mean? Or maybe not Buddha. Some of the girls love crystals. Some of the girls love Mother Earth and connecting with that energy. Some people are drawn to like angels and connect with that energy. Some people are drawn to like ancestral energies and they venerate their ancestors veneration is just an act of petitioning to, praying to, and giving light to those who may have transitioned, or other energies. Any energy can be venerated, but yeah, simply put, spirituality is just a liberated version of religion. It's less followers for some paths. Some forms of spirituality have a lot of followers. It's just free, you know?
So what would be like your opinion on like other religions claiming like spirituality is more so sinful?
So spirituality is an umbrella term, right? Because for some people, spirituality can be like a religion. I think religion just has more construct. There's a lot more structure in it in a way that makes it appealing to the masses. And that's the problem. It's like the masses sometimes are controlled under this religion that whatever they feed to them or trickle down to them, they believe and spew out. And a lot of these religions are centered around love and wellness and trying to be a better person, trying to be a good Samaritan on earth. But a lot of the same religions, Christianity, that just really talk about lifting up and joining and camaraderie, find ways to judge other people, to put them down, to demonize what they're doing. Oh, you're doing this wrong, you're supposed to do it this way. How do you know that? Because the Bible told you that. But did the Bible really tell you that? A lot of these interpretations are incorrect. A lot of these interpretations were interpreted hundreds to thousands of times over, twisted to mean one thing when it's actually supposed to mean another. And in the same book that they're using to judge you, it says not to judge other people. So I'm confused. It don't make sense. But yeah, that's the problem. That is the problem. When people follow a book, sometimes the problem is they're not resonating with those high vibrations that the book is talking about. The book is talking about love one another, love, honor thy mother, honor thy father, you know, respect thy neighbor. Don't commit treason or sins against your neighbor. Treat your neighbor good. Bitches don't even treat their cousins good. Bitches don't treat their mama good.
That's a fact.
So it's like, sometimes you have people trying to live up an expectation that's too good for them. Not that there's something wrong with being sinful, right? Because what's a sin? But that's why you have Christians that are terrible Christians. Yeah. Using the Bible to hurt people. Gossiping in the church. Then as soon as you come around, oh, hey, Sally, you look good today. Like, bitch, you was just talking about her. You was gossiping. You need to meditate. You need some crystals. But yes, literally in that Florida water. Come on, cue that Solange song. No, but for real, like, I think if you have a good head on your shoulders and you're connected with your higher self, you definitely can live life for you in that way. But the problem is people can't live.
They don't even know themselves.
That's a whole different story.
Like, how could you use spirituality to find yourself?
That's a good question. I feel like when we talk about spirituality, we need to but make it clear that spirituality should be centered around your wellness. And I think some wellness techniques you can do to help find yourself, or mindfulness, breathing techniques, meditation, yoga, exercise, journaling, fucking jogging, long walks. Anything that allows you to be still, anything that allows you to connect with yourself, where you can finally maybe open up and write down how you feel, communicate about how you feel, find what you might love in those moments, live in the moment, be present. I think when you take those moments of stillness to be alone, to reflect, to think, to experience something, you start to learn more things about yourself, and you can find those moments in still moments.
Yeah, and I feel like when, you know, you go out with certain people, or you're watching this, you're watching that, you wake up in the morning, you go on Instagram, see Blueface, Krishan doing this, doing that. Like, I feel like you just lose yourself, like, little by little, every time you're doing that, because it's like putting thoughts in your mind that's not even your original thoughts. And it's influencing you. And I feel like when you, like you said, like when you have that stillness, you're drawing time to yourself, and you're like drawing to your own natural thoughts.
Your awareness.
Yeah, your awareness.
Your awareness is coming back to you. And that's so true, because when you wake up first thing in the morning and you see Krishan Blueface cracking each other in the fucking head, you see foolishness, you see people getting hurt, it's like, I don't know, the energy does something to you. It definitely does. It definitely ruffles your feathers.
People think that shit's cute.
Some people do think that shit's cute.
Some people out there like generally think like it's cute, like to be toxic. It's cute to just do certain things that they see online.
Yeah, and it's not, because that's not them. That's not for you. And I think the problem is a lot of leaders, right? We not leaders, but look at the people that are leading the media. Why is it that people that don't even have any proximity to Blueface or Krishan see them on their feed? I know bitches that's like, who the fuck is a Blueface? Who the fuck is a Krishan? They didn't even know who these bitches were. They just saw them on their feed acting a fool. That's crazy. They have such a trajectory. Hello, this is what we not finna do. Definitely, like getting up in the morning, scrolling on Instagram, just indulging in these social media trends, and like just watching these videos and consuming all of this stuff. You know, there's people that scroll on their phone for hours. That's desensitization. You should not be on your phone for 7-8 hours a day. I'm so sorry. I get it, but there's a real world here. You know what I mean? I think we lose so much of our time on our phones that we're not connecting with people in the present. We're not connecting with our friends, our family as much, ourselves.
And like when you're not connected to yourself, that means you're not connected to your life's destiny or purpose.
No.
So you're just fully off track. So the only way to do that is stillness and like, I guess, spirituality.
Just being aware of what you're doing. Doing things with intention.
Yeah.
That's how you fix that.
Like, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I watch a little Zeus Network.
We watch Zeus. But we watch Zeus and acknowledge this is some crazy shit, this is some fucked up shit, but LOL, Kiki, I'm going back to my reality.
And we go back and
I don't actually want to squabble. I don't want to squabble. I don't want to squabble with you bitches. I don't want to squabble.
I don't want to squabble.
I don't want to squabble. Please.
Yes.
Love, light, and progress, bitch. For real. But yeah, like, it's just being intentional about what you're doing, having goals, being intentional about achieving them, having milestone marks, having manifest. Affirm, you know, do a practice. That's what spirituality is, having a practice, having a routine of bringing what you want to life.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, so I wanted to like talk a little bit about karma. And I want to ask you, how do you define karma in a spiritual sense, and how does it differ from the popular or cultural interpretations?
Karma is a spiritual concept. It originates in Hinduism, I believe. And karma is the belief that what comes around goes around. And I believe karma actually differs from the popular conception of it a little bit, because I believe sometimes, well, I know that you don't always pay for your karma in this lifetime. You know, there's bitches that do shit. People do things all the time. They're like, oh my God, like that's my karma for being a jerk. But it's like, nah, girl, like sometimes karma on a bigger, grand scheme of things comes to bite you in the ass in the next lifetime.
Crazy.
There's crazy people out here. You know, those people that commit crazy, like, acts of violence, murder, shooting up places. When they die in the act, or shortly after the fact, they ain't paying for that shit right now. They paying for that shit in the next lifetime. So that's why it's really important to be intentional about how you live your life here, because you don't want to bring any extra baggage to the next lifetime. Next lifetime, you want to be in Dubai. 2077, Dubai. You know, they eating scallops with the lobsters in spaceships. You know what I'm saying? It look like Star Wars in that bitch. Like, come on. You want to be somewhere extravagant. So our mission and the point of reincarnation is to live a good life so you don't have less karma.
So how does like karma intersect with the idea of free will? Like, can individuals change their karmic trajectory through conscious choices?
Free will is just the ability to do anything, and karma plays a huge part in that, because that's how you incur karma, is when you act on free will and not work on the karmic barriers that you need to break down. You just do what you want. You give in to those karmic debts. You don't clear that karmic debt. You don't heal that ancestral wound. So that shit just repeats. When you have free will, you should have the free will to break your karmic debt, clear it. So
let's say like in a lifetime you abused your freedom in love. You know what I'm saying? So let's say the next lifetime you are the one that's like being treated the way you treat people. Would that be like you, like, you know,
paying for your karma?
Paying for your,
100%. 100%. Even worse, that's too easy. Karma really drag you through it. It might not be, it just, never finding love. They really breaking your heart. Like, everybody dogging you. That's because you fucked up in your last life. You was a serial narcissistic cheater. Right? Like, I don't know. That shit is crazy.
And y'all think that's cute.
No words.
Y'all gonna see. So I wanted to get into a little love talk because, you know, the delusional girls, they's waiting for it.
Period.
They's just waiting for it.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so you know, in this life, like, you know, you have karmic partners, soulmates, twin flames. I wanted to get into a little soulmate talk first. So how do you define a soulmate in the context of spirituality? And how does it differ from the popular or cultural interpretation?
So, soulmate, how do I define a soulmate? A soulmate is someone that really is a part of your soul group. What's a soul group? A soul group is just spirits that you reincarnate with here, right? And out of all those spirits, your soul has a mate. That's your Pookie, that's your Stinky, that's your Stinkaling.
Just to clarify, you can have multiple soulmates as well.
Yes, you can have multiple soulmates because there's different periods of your life. Hate to break it to you. And a soulmate could even be a friend. It could be a platonic love.
Yeah.
Like, there's some friends that's like, oh my God, that's my Pookie. That's my, like, I love her. I love him. I can't do nothing without him. You could have that with a friend. I have that with friends. You know, I love my friends. I'm like, if my sister wasn't in my life,
yeah, I'll go crazy.
that's like a sister. That's like love. And it's funny because you could get along with a bitch better than your own sibling. What's that about?
I'm not gonna get into that.
But a soulmate to me is someone who really is just the true match of your soul. And people don't understand this, that opposites attract, and there needs to be balance with energy. So a lot of people sometimes think like their perfect partner is going to be like just like them sometimes, right? And I actually find it funny because your perfect partner is going to be somebody that harmonizes with you, and you and your partner are polar opposites, but it's like you also are the same at the same time. You're just coming from a different perspective. I saw an interview earlier, and this lady used the example of, it's like temperature. What's the difference between if it's boiling hot or ice cold? It's a spectrum. It's just coming from different directions. It's coming from different perspectives. That's going to be the soulmate for you. It's somebody who really balances and harmonizes your energy. You're going to have things in common because you're on the same spectrum, but different perspectives will keep you balanced. So
can like soulmates hurt you, like hurt you?
I think, first of all, we're human, right? And I think people that you love hurt you all the time by accident, intentionally. Sometimes we be sensitive. Sometimes we be a little sensitive. Like, why you did that to me? I also think people need to understand we're not psychic. I think communication is important. I think people also like just get hurt because of simple lack of communication, lack of explanation, lack of comprehension. Like, people just be quick to jump to conclusions, act crazy. I do it. I do it sometimes. I be like, oh my God, like, I just, but I give people grace though. But like, sometimes I have my moments where I'm like, maybe I jump to a conclusion a little bit. Maybe I'm reaching. Yeah.
How does the concept of soulmates... Nah, this is so...
Flo Millie Ring. Give me a Haitian, love me as a...
Okay, so I'm going to talk about karmic partners. Because a lot of these bitches is experiencing karmic partners, and they love to call them their soulmate, the little twin flame, all that. So, how do you define a karmic relationship?
Karmic relationships are relationships that you're in where there's definitely a lesson that needs to be learned between the two of you, and it might not result in you two actually being together. It happens all the time. People get into these relationships and they want it to work so much, but really you need to leave that man, that person, that woman, that thing alone, baby. That thing is causing you good grief, and there's something you need to learn from this relationship, but you're gonna keep getting beat in the top of your head by the fucking problem until you learn it, until you walk away. And a lot of people end up with karmic partners for long periods of time, just suffering because they don't know how to walk away. And that really binds you. A karmic partner is like bondage, And also, I'm talking about a intimate relationship, because a karmic partner could be a parent. A karmic partner can be a friend temporarily. It really depends, but it's there until you clear that karma, until you really understand what you need to learn to like get to the next level and to beat this. That's also what evolution is, right? It's like of leveling up. How do I get to the higher vibration after this? So yeah,
I feel like there's multiple people out there that mainly girls, that like constantly go back to that man and they go back to that man and then they think just because they keep going back and it keeps like they just can't leave each other alone, like they just think like, oh, this is my soulmate. But I feel like that's the main sign of like a karmic partner. Like, would you agree? Especially when it's like more so like a toxic type of relationship where
Yeah, you could say that. I feel like karmic partners sometimes have like they have more of a grip on you, but then I also think sometimes people be extra. People be doing the most. Bitch, leave him alone. Don't go back. Like, why you going back? Because the D ain't that good, is it? He ain't got no money. He ain't got no money. The D ain't good. He not respecting you. He got you upset. You don't know who you are anymore. Girl, you changed. You a different person every day. Trying to be the person for him. When you really just need to love on yourself and walk away. That's what people don't understand.
gotta love inward to grow outward.
Love inward to grow outward. What she said. That's the catchphrase. I shade of that.
How does like a karmic relationship differ from all the other connections, like the twin flame and the soulmate? But like I also know that a karmic relationship, it mirrors a twin flame. So I want to ask you to like explain how it mirrors a twin flame.
Who told you I had the answer to that? A karmic partner can mirror a twin flame because I feel like people see a lot of themselves and mistake the karmic partner to be just like them a lot of the time. Like they think, oh my God, you're just like me. I get him. I get her. I would have done the same thing. No, you wouldn't have, bitch. You're crazy. Like people just really think that they see the humanity in the karmic partner, and I say humanity because they try to act like it's a decency there, but what people don't understand is the karmic partner is also being activated. The karmic partner is playing their role the same way you're playing your role. Karmic partner mirror twin flames because they see the decency in them. They have empathy for their karmic partner because of the similarities that they possess. They think it's meant to be. They think it's right. They think they have so much in common. That's why they're in this mess together. That's why we're in it together, because we're both so crazy in love. But what you're not realizing is that your karmic partner is being activated. Your karmic partner is playing their role, doing what they have to do. That's their assignment, to be your karmic partner. And when that shit is broken, you freed yourself and the karmic partner. Congratulations. Mwah.
I'm glad I freed myself.
Come on.
How does like the karmic partner like, you know, differ from the soulmate and the twin flame though?
So your soulmate is, you know, obviously the mate of your soul, the person that resonates, the person that balances and harmonizes with you. Your karmic partner is the person that you learn really important lessons from, that are quite literally interpersonal lesson. It's a lesson that must be learned between the relationship between the two people. And what was the other one you said? Twin flame? And your twin flame is actually a piece of your soul in a different body.
That sounds a little emotional and deep. So I want to ask you, what is a twin flame?
A twin flame, you know, everybody has their own definition. But a twin flame is someone who shares a part of your soul in them. They're literally your twin. They have that same spark as you. But people tend to use twin flame in a romantic sense. Like they're like, oh my God, your twin flame is like around the corner, they're coming. But twin flame, from what I've been taught, is that
they hold like a mirror up to you.
Yep. They literally have a piece of your mirror. Your mirror broke off into 100 little pieces. They got a piece of your mirror in them. But
something I also learned with twin flames, I know a lot of twin flames go through separation periods and they come back together and it's the whole love do. So would you say that's not what you believe in?
I believe that you have many so twin flames, right? Twin flame, soulmates, and all of these other terms of like that are used individuals to be connected to you. You have a soul group in heaven, right? And I go back to, I think I mentioned this concept earlier a little bit. I think I touched on it. It's a really deep concept, but basically there's this belief that there's a cosmic heaven where your higher self is, where everybody's higher self is, right? And that in that heaven, we have a soul group. We have a family up there. And they believe that, and they is a few indigenous beliefs that I study, They believe that when you reincarnate with those same members of your soul group. Your partner, your soulmate, might be in heaven. Gag. Your soulmate still might be in the heavens and not reincarnated here. And they also believe that sometimes that's why they block you from finding love, because they're jealous that you're reincarnated, living an experience, and they're not with you. So I think these different terms that refer to like twin flame, soulmate, and they're just different terms to for people to understand this feeling, this phenomenon when you meet somebody that's like, I must have met you before, my soul knows you. It's just ways that people are interpreting it now. It's a modern term, like the twin flame and soulmates and stuff like that. But you do have heavenly mates in heaven. Like your soul has a tribe of people in heaven, and you're a part of a soul group up there, and you reincarnate with a lot of them all the time. Not all of them, but some of them do reincarnate with you. And that's a little deep, but you know, if it resonate, it resonate.
How does like a twin flame contribute to your spiritual journey?
Twin flames support you. Twin flames are there. They're your people. They're your tribe. I say they because you can have more than one twin flame. You can have an intimate twin flame. You can have a platonic twin flame. A lot, you know. But twin flames are there to support you. They're there to love on you. They're you, you know.
How would you describe love as a spiritual person?
Love is a very strong energy that can move mountains, that can heal the things that feel unhealed, that can comfort you in the most uncomfortable of moments. Love is a supreme energy. It's it's the highest vibration, if not one of the highest vibrations. If it's not the highest vibration, it's definitely the base. It's the foundation. You can't have gratitude too without love. You need love present. And I would contender love with gratitude, but you need love to have gratitude. So, love is the highest vibration, and you can get high off it.
A lot of you bitches are real high off of it.
Get high off love. Like, just give love out. It's energy. That's why when you support somebody and somebody supports you back, you feel good. You feel blissful. You feel like, woo. Like, oh my God, all this good, all this love energy. That's why when people are kind to you, you feel good. It's like that moment is just such a perfect moment when you feel genuine love and connection with someone. Platonic, intimate, whatever. It feels good. It's like, this is what I live for. Because it is.
I want to talk about soul ties a little bit, because it relates to love. And I know a lot of people believe that you can only gain soul ties from having sex with, you know, someone or whatnot. So I want to ask you, how do you define a soul tie in a period? I want to ask you, how do you define soul ties from a spiritual perspective?
Soul ties are interesting because we're all connected, right? We all are connected to each other with invisible cords. And a soul tie is kind of like when your soul is literally tied to another soul through these invisible cords. I believe sometimes people need to learn how to walk away. I'm not saying a soul tie can't have you hemmed up, but I think sometimes we are quick to label it a soul tie. But in reality, it's really just, you are addicted to your karma, bitch. You addicted to that karmic partner. You don't know what to do. When you saying your soul is tied and you can't let go, that feeling is the karma literally binding you. It's like, bitch, we done got you now. You got to walk away. You got to push away. You got to get away from those situations. Because if you feel like you have a soul tie to somebody and it's somebody that's not adding any goodness to your life, you have a problem. You do. Because you addicted to the pain, baby. And I think a lot of people use soul ties in that context. I never hear people say, oh my God, I have a soul tie with him, I love him. They're like, no, I have a soul tie, like, I'm in bed. It's like they say, like, a little shy cringe flex, like, no, we have a soul tie, like, we're not going anywhere. Like, bitch, please. Like,
I feel like I understand, like, why it's hard for people to walk away. Like, I feel like certain people just have so much hope that things will get better and hope that they're gonna just change. Like, what would you have to say, like, about the people that have so much hope for just people that aren't even doing them right?
I think hope is beautiful. You know, we hope a lot of things. We hope we wake up with $1 million in our bank account. Hope ain't gonna get you nowhere, bitch. You gotta believe in the action. If it ain't no actions ain't speaking, bitch, bye. Because if they wanted to, they will. And that's something you stand on. People, we always say that, but people don't understand how true that is. If somebody wants to do better by you, they will. Period. It's that simple, and I don't even have to overcomplicate it. We can overcomplicate some spiritual shit, but not no simple shit like that.
Yeah.
No. If he's acting that way, baby, or if she's acting that way, that's how it's gonna be. Unless they choose to change, and then you would see that.
You won't see that.
You would see that. So it wouldn't even be a question. You'd be like, oh, okay, she's different. He's different. They're different. Whatever.
But some delusional bitches be like, oh, he's different this time. I promise.
Never, and it's never different. He been the same nigga for 7 years, sis. Right. It's been 7 years. We're tired of it. But no, no. Proof is in the pudding, bae. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask also, are there specific signs or symptoms that can indicate that there's a presence of a soul tie in someone's life?
Not that I fucking know of. A headache, nausea, chest pains, crying, snooping, going hard, then finding it and crying again. But then going back and then telling them you found it, then crying, then forgiving them, and then doing it again. Yeah, those dumb bitch symptoms. Foolery. Tomfoolery. Yeah.
And you're saying, and you basically said earlier, fuck a breaking a soul tie, just walk away.
Well, okay. Breaking a soul tie, it's deeper than that. We're not going to play. It's deeper. Trying to break away from a soul tie and from somebody that really does have you hemmed up, because a soul tie is the spiritual articulation of saying that I am connected to a motherfucker that I don't want to be connected to. That's all you're saying. So it is real. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't have to get to that point. But when it's to that point, it takes a lot of willpower. A lot of willpower. Maybe some cleaning, some spring cleaning of your energy, prayer, meditation. You need to do something to get your mind out of that fucking funk so you can get away from that person. Because it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy to walk away from an addiction, because at that point you're addicted to the nastiness that that person is just stirring up in your life. Not that they're bringing all of it on their own, because it takes two to tango.
What do you have to say to the girls, the men out there that is addicted, that can't get away? This soul tie is got them by their neck.
They wouldn't even be watching this video.
Why you say that? Why you say that?
They wouldn't even be watching this video because that's shade. That's shade. But they wouldn't even be watching this video because I really don't believe that they don't want to. But I would say, if you know a homegirl and you want to send a homegirl this video and be like, homegirl, this is real informative. Homegirl, this is what you're going through. Homegirl, you need to hear this. I got you, friend. This video gonna get you. If you have a soul tie, what can you do on a level? Get far away from that person as possible. Surround yourself with your loved ones and your support system. Surround yourself with a support system, your loved ones. Start a routine or a practice to reinstill and to strengthen your faith and hope. Because most likely, if you're in a karmic relationship or with a soul tie, you're probably broken in some ways. And it's important to bring yourself back up, pour back into yourself. It's important to pray, maybe talk to your ancestors, to find something spiritually that can feed you, that can make it easier for you to get up in the morning. Because we could have our support system, but that's the thing about spirituality that's beautiful. You can call on that energy to help you lift up out the bed. The energy of a brighter day. You can call on it and claim it to be yours. You can affirm it. You can declare it. You can speak it over your life. So get away from that person. Call up your homegirls. Get them close to you. Start declaring a better life.
It's something that I do in the morning, because you know myself. You know I'm a little right now. You know what I'm saying? And something that I do every morning to really get me to stand the fuck up. I go to the mirror. And I put it right in front of me, like right here. And I just say, I love you. And then I touch it. And then it makes me feel really good. It makes me really not depend on the type of feeling that I was, getting. It makes me depend on my own feelings that I have. I don't know. It just really helps me. So y'all can try that. They really do help.
Self-love affirmations in the mirror. I love that. Period.
Okay.
I know TikTok was telling the girls to say affirmations in the water and drink it.
I do that shit all the time. I be manifesting like that too.
Water carries energy.
No, I know. I be like.
It's a conduit.
Okay, so I wanted to touch bases with crystals. And how do they work? What are they? Like, I just want to know, you know?
Crystals are stones that hold their own vibration. Some crystals represent different things. Some crystals are for healing, grounding, abundance, luck, attraction. And crystals are things that you can charge with your intention to amplify an intention. So you can charge a ring or a pendant with the intention to keep you grounded, to keep you calm in the face of anxiety.
Can you talk about that intention thing so they know what you mean by intention? Because
When
we
I-
don't really understand. Like, you need intention.
When I say you're charging something with intention, that means you're sitting down with this object, you're praying over it, you're speaking to it, you're saying, you know, master healer quartz, I'm charging you with the intention of grounding and for healing so that you can heal my auric fields at all times, so that when I'm outside and bitches want to weigh me down, bitches want to throw their energy at me, that shit just rolling off because you're there protecting my chakras. That's how you charge something with intention. You give it a purpose, you give it an action to perform, and you focus on that, you repeat it, you breathe it, you sit with it. And then when you charge it, you can either place it in the moonlight, you could place it on a sacred space so it could soak up some extra
Put in
juice.
that beach water.
Beach water. Ooh. Yeah, and then after that, it's ready to go. And you can cleanse your crystals by running underwater. You can cleanse your crystals with the sun. You can also cleanse and charge with the sun. People say you only can cleanse with the sun and charge with the moon or whatever. Anyway. But yeah.
So I have a question about, you know, tarot cards. You know, I read tarot cards. I want to ask for the girlies, like, what are tarot cards? Like, how can you use them? How do you connect to what you need to connect to whatever you need to connect to, you know, use the tarot cards?
Everybody reads tarot different, but it's usually always the same process, really, once you peel back some layers. First of all, tarot is a divination tool. Oracle cards are a divination tool. Pendulums are a divination tool. You connect to energies with your tarot cards by asking the divine, which can be your spirit guides, to show you or to communicate with you through the cards to learn what you need to learn for whatever you're seeking, whatever will help you in your wellness. And that's pretty much how you go up. That's pretty much what it is when you're doing tarot. You're sitting down, you're spreading the cards, and you're pulling cards that will allow you to see something that needs to be shown to you.
So what can the girlies, like, what can they do right now? Like, if they, like, what could they do right now to read tarot cards to the best ability that they can?
You have to bond with your deck. You have to pick a deck that resonates with you. And how do you bond with your deck? They're going to be mad at me for saying this on here. But you're going to look at the cards. Maybe every day for 7 days. Look through the cards. Look at them. Look at every picture.
I'll be knocking on them.
Knock on it. Put it under your pillow. Talk to it. Use them. Ask questions. Test different spreads. You have to grow a connection with your cards because there's an energy there. And the cards have an energy of its own, but you also are divining with it. So there's an energy on the other side that's helping you pick the right card. You know, picking the right card to speak to you. So just spending time with your deck. Really getting close to it. Taking it with you. Letting it get your energy. So when it speaks to you, you know what she's talking about. Because you can pull cards and not know what the cards mean. And got to go look in the book, got to go look online. But you can pull cards and know what they mean without even knowing what an ace of swords, like a king of hearts or a temperance card. You don't need to know what a temperance card is because your spirits, your guides will be able to tell you exactly what you need to know when you pull that card out. I don't know not a damn thing about any of them fucking cards and what they mean. But trust, when I pull them cards, I'm spitting. I'm spitting. You like, oh my God, how you know? I'm like, girl.
Girls' cards, I'll be like, that makes so much sense. They be like, what that mean? I said, I don't know what that mean, but I know what that mean. I just explain to them, like.
Exactly, that's you connecting with them guys. Them guys is telling you. That's good.
Our Ivory cards, I used to, like, long time ago, like, spread it. But now I just, Okay. Ooh, okay. And sometimes I know that it's not it, like when it flies out, but like sometimes it is it, the ones that fly out. So it's kind of like, how the fuck?
Intuition, that's your connection. And you're right, because sometimes I pull cards that fly out, and I'm like, girl, bye. Then sometimes I pull cards that fly, and I'm like, that's the one.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll be the first card I touch. Sometimes I don't even have to shuffle the deck. Sometimes it'll be that first card.
I actually experienced one time, like, so I put my cards back the same way every time, and I opened my cards, and I was looking through it, and then there's like a good like 7 of them just flipped the opposite way. I'm like, I don't put my cards in like that, and they said read them, and I read them. They was spot on. I just thought that was crazy.
That's crazy.
That was crazy.
Destiny. They talking to you. Period.
Okay, so like to end off this podcast, I want to talk about what can beginners like do to get into spirituality more if they're curious or scared or just anything. So how can individuals identify or choose a spiritual path or practice that resonates with them among the diverse array of spiritual traditions?
Wow, that's a really good question. I feel like, first of all, somebody who studies multiple spiritual traditions, just because I'm fascinated by them, I love them. I love learning about the different cultures and the origins and all of the stories. What most people do, what I would suggest when it comes to finding a spiritual tradition or practice is to find out what's ancestrally close to you. Because if you are, from the Caribbean, that means you have African blood. You have colonizer DNA up in there. You also have like indigenous folk, that were inhabitants of these islands when the colonizers brought the slaves to the island. So look at those religions, look at those spiritual beliefs and traditions, look at those energies, go back a couple hundred years, see what the alternative was, see what was pre-colonization, what was the pre-colonization. I think that is where a lot of beauty lies, because you go to your roots and then you find something that's ancestral and close to you naturally. And I find that whatever your ancestors support will have so much more of a blessing behind it. Because if your ancestors are like, okay, you practicing that ancient shit, you doing that shit that great grandmother used to do, so it's like, okay. And some of those things can be hoodoo. Some of those things can be, Ifa practice, Santeria, all these different other religions, Lukumi. If you are from Asia, it could be different variations of like Hinduism. So it's like, it could be being Buddhist, not being Buddha, being Buddhist. So yeah, it's a lot of different paths out there. And I think finding the one that really resonates to your ancestors can help you find some piece of home in that.
So, what would you say to someone who wants to start their spiritual journey but just doesn't know where to start? What advice would you give them?
I would give them the advice of starting within. Everything starts within. Forget the spiritualities, forget the tarot cards, the crystals, the karmic. Like,
I just heard it.
You did, but you know what? But I feel like you had a good connection with yourself. You have a good connection to your core, and I think that's where it all starts. You have to have a good connection with yourself. You have to start developing one. It don't have to be the best, but you have to start developing one. You have to have a good conscience of yes or no. You have to be aware. You have to be conscious. You have to be intentional. And once you start doing those things, you have to determine what is it that you want from this human experience. What is your interest? What direction should you go in? Once you discover these things about yourself, I think spirituality will start to find you, because something will click. The universe will realize you're shifting, you're changing, and then your guides, your angels, they're going to swoop in and start giving you signs. You're going to be like, what's up with these synchronicities? What's up with these coincidences? What's up with this gift? Maybe I'm starting to know things before it happen. Maybe things are just going all too well. Maybe I'm manifesting all too good. It's going to be a pull. It's going to be a shift.
Can you actually touch base on like what a spiritual awakening feels like?
A spiritual awakening feels like you're in a room full of people and you're the only one in the room that knows this big secret. It's like this big thing, not even a secret, but you just have this great understanding, you know, and everybody else is so focused on everything else, and they're focused on this, they're focused on that, but your eye is on the sparrow. You're like, y'all don't see that up there?
Yeah, like I used to be, like every time like I went through a spiritual awakening, like I felt like so crazy, and like I feel like everyone was just looking at me like just
like a black sheep. That's literally what it is. Having a spiritual awakening is being the black sheep. It's recognizing that you're a little bit different. You see the world in a different way. You have a different connection with the things around you. You know, you're just a different being. The energy around you is different. So yeah. So anywho, thank you so much for having me on your podcast today. I had a blast talking about spirituality. What's so funny? Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. It was so much fun talking about spirituality and all of those fun things. I cannot wait for next time to continue this conversation and to talk about what the people want to hear. Do you have any questions?
if you have any questions,
Most
let me
people
know.
don't know who they are. They really don't.
I know my name, I know my age, I know where I
Yeah,
live.
that's not
What
you,
else?
though. If you ask the average person who they are, they'll give you their name. They'll say, I'm Bob Proctor, but I'm not. Bob and Proctor are two words. My parents give them to me. They're called names, but it's not me. It's my name. Then somebody will say, well, this is me, but this isn't me either. It's my body. Like, you never phone down here to the studio and say, body won't be in today. It's sick. Okay. You know, we don't say am hand or am leg. It's my hand, my leg, my body, my name. Who am I? See, I think we live simultaneously on three planes of understanding. We're spiritual creatures, we have an intellect, and we live in physical bodies. But because we lack awareness or understanding of who we are, we're totally locked into a physical world, and we let things outside of us control us. 95% of the population are reacting to life. They're not really living at all.